What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Subian podcast. This is Subian number 32. No. Whoops. Number 33. Jesus, I rehearsed that too. I was reminding myself. I even looked at the numbers earlier before. But yeah, welcome back. If you're coming back, tuning in once again. First of all, thank you. Thanks for watching. If you're new, if you just ran into this podcast, whether on iTunes or on YouTube, well, I welcome you with open arms. I almost hit the mic, but with open arms, I welcome you. And just to let you know and remind everybody else that if you're heading to work, driving, or studying or something, I don't know, and you just want to hear somebody talk, right? You just want to you just want to listen, but don't want to watch anything. You can head over to iTunes, search up Sub Me In, the Sub Me In podcast, and you can just listen to it, the audio version only. It's broken down into two parts. Part one, which is what we're going to start right now. It's pretty much just like a lot of covering of news, whether usually on the side of entertainment, sometimes music, not most of them, not majority, because I haven't really been keeping up with music as much, but for sure, movies and video games, because those are probably two of my favorite things in the world. Movies and video games, they just have a huge place in my heart. Music too, but lately it's just been like, music is just so, I don't know, it's complicated with music. But yeah, that's what this is about. And then part two is usually, I flipped it around. It used to be part one, the other way around, but what I want to call is soccer talk, which is mostly for my football fans, my soccer fans, not American football, just soccer. The reason I include that is because I love soccer. I don't know if it's much as boxing, but it's just with boxing there isn't much to talk about. I mean, there is, but I don't know. Soccer is just more worldwide. That's what I feel like, except for the States, for the United States. But it's all right. It's cool. So some people in the United States too enjoy it, but yeah. Again, boxing is just it's like music. It's really complicated. So it's really complicated to talk about it, and I really don't want to get into it with that. So yeah. But yeah, I keep in soccer talk because it's actually what I started off with this podcast. So, and then I moved on with talking about other stuff. But yeah, let's get into this before I start just rambling on and whatnot. So, first and foremost, I want to talk about. I have these questions I always ask because I want to know more about my, I want to say community, the people who are watching. Eventually, I'll be a community. It's a growing community, small, and so far I haven't seen any replies, but I'm still hoping, But question of the week, question of the podcast is, do you think you could defeat the most famous person who shares your first name? And who is it? So, like, for example, let's go with me. Adrian. So if I type in, let's see. If I search up because the first name that comes up to me is Adrian Broner, but let's see who's the most famous. If I just type in Adrian. All right, let's just go most famous person. Most famous person named Adrian. I was about to put in Adriana. Adrian Peterson, who's a football player, is like the first one that comes up. A football player. That's interesting. He's probably bigger than me for sure, so if he's bigger than me, he'll probably, I don't know much about football players, but I'm going to use two. So let's go with Adrian Peterson, who I'm guessing 33 is his age. He's a football player. If anybody knows him, I mean, yeah, he's pretty sure I don't know him. I don't know who he is. I'm not that, into football, American football. So Adrian Peterson. Yeah, I don't know. He'd probably whoop me though if he's a football player. Because he's probably, especially if he's a professional football player, he's definitely bigger than me. I'm guessing. I'm assuming he's bigger than me. So yeah, he'll probably beat me. I'll probably get beaten. I'll probably get beaten down. He'll tackle me down and beat me down. Yeah. If it's like that, but like Adrian Broner is the one that Adrian Broner or what's his name, the actor, Adrian Brody. I think that's his name. Yeah, Adrian Brody. Yeah, I don't know. But like Broner is a boxer. I know him. He's about my height. He's obviously knows how to box. So yeah, I still think I pretty much lose to him because he's a professional boxer, and I only did like just training boxing. So yeah, he'd also probably whoop me. Yeah. So that's an example right there. See what I'm doing? So like Adrian Brody, maybe I stand a chance against him. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if he does any fighting training or anything either, but he as an actor, from what I've seen him in the movies, like The Pianist, stuff like that, the Experiment. I think I could beat him. Yeah, but the other two, no, I'd get rocked for sure. Even though I always say Adrian Broner is he's not that great like as a boxer. I don't think he's like, like when he fought Pacquiao, I was like, nah, Pacquiao's gonna whoop him easily. So, but against me, he'd probably whoop me easily. All right, let's move on. So the Oscar. Well, first I want to talk about another story that I always want to talk about is positive news. I don't always want it because the news always. I always talk about that the news always focuses on the negative stories and it puts me down, and that's why I don't like watching the news and stuff. But here at Unversed Productions at the Summon Podcast, why did I say the whole thing? I don't know. I usually like to talk about positive stuff, So there's an app I use called The Great Big Story. There's a bunch of stories that are positive, that are great, stuff that's going around the world. They're small stories, but it's small things. That whole thing about small things can make a big difference. I don't know, something like that. I forgot the saying, but yeah. It's an app called The Great Big Story. And it's a bunch of stories there. And the one I was just looking up right now was something about Japan. Because I am going to go to Japan in about a month. Literally a month, yeah, the 27th. No, tomorrow's the 27th. Duh. But yeah, I was looking at this story and it interested me because it's about Japan. How Chicano lowrider culture found a home in Japan. Now this guy, what's his name? Junichi Shimodaira. Sorry for my pronunciations as well, again, for my Japanese people, but that's how I say it. In 1987, he came to the United States. He came for a trip to the United States, and I'm guessing he was in Cali because it's lowriders, But he fell in love with that culture. He saw the cars, and I don't know, he just started to just went up to a Chicano, a Cholo, because Cholos drive. Cholos, Chicanos, people, Mexicans from California, mostly Cholos. Come on, let's be honest, mostly Cholos. I don't know about today, but back in this was in the 80s. This was huge for the Cholos. He pretty much just went up to a Cholo and started asking questions about lowriders. Like he was interested in them, and that was cool. If he's into cars, then that's awesome. And he brought that. He started hanging out with them. He learned a lot about their culture, about them, like pretty much Mexican culture. And he fell in love with that stuff, like the food, the music. He was talking about the cars, just in general, how our culture was. He brought that stuff, the lowrider stuff, to Japan when he went back and started customizing, making, I want to say building cars, like old cars, like scraps, build them up, made them into lowriders, and now in Japan, I don't know what days or what times, like what season or whatever, but I don't know if it's a yearly thing, I'm guessing. now there's car clubs over there, so they gather up in a spot and they have like pretty much like a big party or something, like a show. I'm gonna say a car show or something, like a small car show. And I mean, there's music, there's food, all that stuff. People are looking around the cars. Supposedly, people travel around the world just to go see these cars, and it's crazy if like somebody from the States is going over there. I mean, it's still cool, so it's not crazy, but I mean, they can just go to Cali and they have the same stuff. There's still car shows here, with lowriders. They still exist. It's cool to see them here in Chicago as well, so that's awesome. But yeah, he pretty much made a car club over there in Japan, and they call it the Pharaohs. It was, I forgot where he got that name from. I was just watching the video, but yeah, an outlet for cultural and political expression that dates back to the 1940s. Won Junichi over at his Paradise Road shop. So he has a shop called Paradise Road. That's where he builds the cars. He repairs and restores classic American cars, imbuing the lowrider aesthetic with the Japanese spirit of craftsmanship. I mean, it's pretty much it. He just brought a whole new culture, he brought something new to Japan, which is crazy. He brought something old and made it new in Japan. That's awesome. That's a little, I want to call human condition. I'm not gonna claim that because that's actually on the app. But yeah, that's good, man. That's awesome. I love cars. I love car shows. I love going to see cars, especially some old school cars. It'd be dope to see like a whole car show of lowriders. You don't see that much about here. Around here, they have like a typical car show in Chicago, where it's all the new cars. But then in the smaller areas, yeah, you got some gatherings from car clubs. I think it's everywhere. But the one car show that we do have here is pretty much American muscle. I haven't seen nothing about imports or anything. They might have some, but you gotta search for them. But around my area where I live, it's for sure there's an event always about American car muscles. And you see them all rolling up. It's awesome. Yeah. Classic American car muscles. Beautiful stuff. All right, what do we got next? Let's talk about the movies. Oscars. So, two things about the Oscars. That happened. We're not going to go into it with... there's this whole thing I was reading. It was so long about how Green Book won and something about... it's been a while since... What was it? They won Best Picture, I think. And something about the movie that won Best Picture not being nominated for Best Director or something. It was a whole, like... I don't know, going on, like opinions. It was opinionated and stuff, I don't know. But I just want to talk about, like... Where was it? Just a complete winners list. Just a list. So what happened? So... Bohemian Rhapsody picks up I'm guessing the most wins with 4 wins, while Green Book, Roma, and Black Panther take 3. Netflix actually won 4, so that was awesome for Netflix. That was counting Roma with 3 and then 1 for documentary, something like that. But let's see. Biggest day of the year, Universal's Green Book claimed the Best Picture Oscar at the Best Picture, okay. Best Picture Oscar at the 91st Academy Awards. What I liked about the Oscars this year was that there was no host. It was hostless. That was awesome. Apparently, it's been like 30 years or something since they've done that with no host. But that was awesome. I mean, it sucks because I think Kevin Hart was supposed to host it. I think I heard that somewhere. And, it just like went hostless. Which sucks for him if he was going to host it, but... I mean, I kind of liked it that there was no host. Hosts, get them out of here. For every award show, get them out of here. But let's see. So yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody wins 4 honors, while Green Book, Roma, and Black Panther earn 3 apiece. In top categories, Alfonso Cuarón nabbed a win for the Best Director for Roma. So there we go. And I believe the director for Green Book wasn't even nominated, so I think that was the whole controversy or something. I don't know if it was controversy or something, but it was like talk about it. I don't know. Olivia Colman earned the Best Actress Award for The Favorite. Rami Malek won Best Actor honor for Bohemian Rhapsody. Regina King claimed the Best Supporting Actress honor for If Beagle Street Could Talk. And Mahershala Ali won Best Supporting Actor for Green Book. We're also going to talk about actors who haven't won Oscars yet. I was surprised with the list, but I mean, it's crazy. It's hard to win one of those, so it's not. It's like surprising, but at the same time, not surprising for me. And then we're going to talk about five Oscar-winning actors who played in game, who were appeared in games. Just a little FYI type of thing. In craft categories, Black Panther earned the costume design honor and a win for production design, while Vice won for makeup and hairstyling. Bohemian Rhapsody won for film editing, sound editing, and sound mixing, and First Man won for visual effects. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen these. I'm just, go through these because I'm pretty sure everybody saw the Oscars. If you haven't, then it is what it is. For Best Original Song, Lady Gaga won for Shallow in A Star Is Born, while Ludwig Göransson claimed a win for the score of Black Panther. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Black Panther also won the score in the Grammys, I believe. Soundtrack in the Grammys? I don't know. Original score. Yeah. Drama nabbed the Best Foreign Language Film and Cinematography honors. And then something that everybody was surprised was about with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse winning Best Animated Feature, because I'm guessing everybody wanted The Incredibles 2 to win, but I mean Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was really, really. I love the art. I love the animation on it. That's what I'm trying to say. And then Free Solo earned the Best Documentary Feature Award. I think that's the one I'm talking about Netflix also taking that for them. But yeah, those were the winners. That was the list. You can always just check out the list. I'm not going to get too much into detail because, the Oscars were already on Sunday. It was 2 days ago, so. Alright, we're going to try to move in real quick here. So, we're going to skip on. I'm not going to talk about 5 Oscar-winning actors in video games. Because I just want to get this over with real quick. The hidden benefits of playing video games here. So last week I talked about video game addiction and how it can be a problem, So there's like downsides to playing video games, but then there is upsides to playing video games. And a couple of things here are, it's just all about balancing on playing video games. So here's just a few things that can benefit from playing video games. It improves concentration. So in video games, you're always, you gotta look at small little details in order how to beat it and stuff. So it can improve your concentration. So gaming is one of those arts that can keep players glued onto the screen for hours. The games are set to test concentration levels, especially the ability to multitask through the different levels of gaming. Therefore, once one gets serious with gaming, it tunes their brain to concentrate and focus on the task at hand, delivering them to completion and perfection. Pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much. Games were made to test your skills and stuff in the beginning. I'm guessing. I feel like that's the way I saw it. It's just kids are more into it. Anyway, adults too, It also improves coordination. So something that I've always heard was that it always improves hand-eye coordination. Your eyes are focused onto the screen, what's going on in front of the screen, while you're just focusing. You're making all the moves with the actions. You're making all the actions with the controller. So yeah, for sure, it can improve coordination, hand-eye coordination. Just gotta see what it is. It apparently improves vision, which I didn't know this, but I thought I did the opposite. But it can do the opposite. This is what I'm talking about with moderation. So yeah, spending a lot of hours in front of the screen can be bad, but apparently because of what's going on in the screen, I don't know, something about the screen. Where was it? The idea is that gaming calls for a lot of concentration and keenness in details for the sort of after wins. Researchers go ahead to say that games bring in the ability to discern between different shades of similar colors, shapes, to mention a few things. The trick is to ensure that you are playing the games in moderation so that you are not sighted too close. Okay, so yeah, that's how. Yeah, don't pretty much don't play long hours, and stand back. You know, grab a beanbag chair or something, a comfortable chair, good posture, nothing like slouching, because slouching is bad for your back and stuff. So if you do that, especially for long hours and you're like playing games like up close and stuff, you're ruining your vision and your back. So it's all about how you play like this. Not like that, but you know what I mean. For sure, it enhances memory. I noticed that because obviously in the beginning of a game tutorial, it shows you how to play it, and then you have to remember how it plays, or you're gonna constantly be like looking at the controls all the time. I don't know if anybody does that, but I know that once I play it one time, it'll stick to me. And even if I like leave it, don't play for a while, and I go back into it, I for some reason will remember the controls once again. So yeah, I don't know, it's just, it helps you, I want to say, like, what do you call that? Like learning by what was the word? I remember the word in school, man. I used it all the time. It was it's pretty much like if you were to take culinary classes, you can learn better by doing than just staying in a classroom and just reading. You know what I mean? So it's all about also learning how, if you're going to be a culinary arts student, it's all about, you know, cooking and not just textbook stuff. It goes with everything. If you're playing a piano, it's not just about knowing how to read music, but also play it. You know, it's not all about reading how to shoot a basketball, but also attempting to shoot a basketball. Practice makes perfect. So yeah, video games do for sure enhance memory. They sure helped me in school. You know, it boosts brain activity and speed. So I mean, in video games, it starts off easy, or you can go on easy mode. But as you progress, it should get harder. You can boost up the level. You can put the level difficulty harder, and you'll notice that, you know, you play FIFA on semi-pro, and then you're so good. You go to professional, you're still so good. You go to world class, and you're still so good at world class. And you go to legendary mode, man, and you see the improvement, man. You see the improvement in it. So, for sure, it's the same thing. Once you beat a story-based game, now they got the whole, like, if you beat it on normal, then they'll have new game plus, and then it adds more to it. So, yeah. There's also a bunch of career opportunities nowadays, so career boost is also one of these things. And yeah, there's more career opportunities, whether you want to be into, you know, esports, or a video game tester, or game designer, or whatever you name it. There's so many benefits into the career of video games now. So it's not just about, you know, when your parents used to tell you you're wasting your time playing video games in the living room or in your room. Get out of there. Now you can tell them, no, Mom, there's opportunities for me now. I just got to get so good at Super Smash Bros. And I can be a professional Smash Bros. Player. Yeah, that's pretty much everything about, like, you know, there's benefits to playing video games as well, not just negative stuff. So I was talking about, like, you know, addiction is bad, but at the same time, you can get benefits off of it, video games, but it's just about balancing it. That's what I want to say. It's all about balancing your gaming life with your social life. Or you're gonna end up like me in the studio, nobody watching your podcasts, and nobody next to you, and you're just talking to yourself in a mic. That's what's gonna happen to you. Example right here. Alright, last thing I just want to talk about is something hilarious I was just reading into. Florida man arrested for allegedly throwing a cookie at his girlfriend. So pretty much, I don't know what was going on. It's a short story. I'm assuming they were just arguing or something, and this dude got mad And you hear stories of like if you've seen 42 Grams on Netflix, and you saw why the whole thing shut down. It's just like so crazy. The dude, the chef, and his wife, they opened up this restaurant, and he pretty much, this guy was crazy, by the way. He pretty much threw a wine bottle at her or something, broke a wine bottle at her. That's crazy. But this dude, this couple, this guy just got angry. I think he was like in his 40s or something. I could be wrong. I'm not gonna look into it. I'm just remembering from what I read. Pretty much got out of control, grabbed the cookie. Cookie must have been stale. It was a hard cookie, and he chucked it at her face. I'm guessing around the forehead, somewhere in her face. He chucked it at her. I don't know what, but it's alright. It's better a cookie than like a bottle or something else, like a knife or something, a bat or something. But pretty much, I don't know. I think she called the cops, or her neighbor called the cops. Somebody called the cops. They came, and literally said that where the cookie landed on her face was red, so you can see the mark of the cookie. So I mean, wow, dude. I don't know. I'm laughing. That's not funny because that's still like he got arrested for what was it? Abuse. I'm thinking it was abuse. I don't know the right word. Battery, I want to say. Is that how you call it? He was 41-year-old. Okay, so he also confessed to authorities that he did confess. All right. $500 bond. Wow, look at that. Was booked at the Pasco County Jail in Land Lakes on $500 bond. What was it called? I think it's battery. I'm trying to find it. I don't know. Yeah. A Florida man was arrested for domestic battery after he reported through a cookie at his girlfriend. Yeah. Wow, it's right there in the title. I'm an idiot. So, I mean, yeah, that's it. I want to move on to soccer talk. That's just something to think about. What do you guys think? It's crazy, man. Hey, better a cookie though. Like I said, it's better a cookie than something else that can actually potentially harm her. Because I mean, a cookie's just gonna leave a mark. I mean, I would have gone for the bite of that cookie. Must have been a stale ass cookie though. You guys should read into that. I don't know. It's a small story. It's not that huge. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, you saw a $500 bond on this dude. He did get arrested. So yeah, we're gonna move on to side talk. Remember, think about that question. Famous person with your first name, can he beat you down, or would you win in a, let's just say, professional fight? I'm not limited to boxing though. It can be whatever you want. MMA, boxing, taekwondo, whatever. I mean, MMA is taekwondo. It's like mixed martial arts, so MMA is everything. But wrestling, whatever. You pick the fight. You pick the way you fight. It's just who wins. I want to know who is it. All right, we're gonna shift over to soccer talk here. Big stuff in soccer news. Seriously. Okay, if you're still tuning in, this is Soccer Talk now. We are starting Soccer Talk. Once again, just a reminder, you can just listen to the audio version on iTunes, or you can just watch it on YouTube. If you're on iTunes, you can also watch it on YouTube. You can see me, but who wants to, right? This guy, I don't know. Yeah, watch my stuff. We're going to talk only one thing in the world of football, because it's one of the biggest things I think that happened this past weekend, and it's all about Kepa. Legend says that till this day, and until this video comes out, he is still on that pitch, and he refuses to leave. That's what I hear. But pretty much what happened, it was the final of the, what is it called, the EFL Cup? I don't know, Kapao. It was a final cup. Here, let's see. Football Oscars. Wow. Best camera goes to Kepa in Saudi. There you go. There you go. That's what it is. Intense game, by the way. This was a very intense game. Alright, where is it? Carabao Cup. It was the final of the Carabao Cup. and it was at the end of the extra time, pretty much. He was pretty much around the second half of extra time. It looked like he was getting injured. Who knows if it's true or not? Only he does. Only they do, the player himself. But he was about to be substituted off, and this is pretty much. If you haven't watched the video, you should. It's pretty funny. He was being ready to substitute off by Caballero, who was a keeper, ex-keeper for Manchester City. Not only does he have a good record with penalties, but he knows those players well, and I'm pretty sure he could have blocked the penalties. Now here's the thing. Kepa refused to leave. Sadi, angry, started you saw that he hit his chair in the dugout and was ready to walk out of the stadium, but then he comes back. I understand Kepa. Kepa, here's what I think. People are saying they're both sides. Some people are saying Kepa should be dropped. He should be never to wear a Chelsea shirt again. Should be benched now. Should be in the reserves, not even substitutes. Stuff like that, like punished. Apparently, they already resolved it as but what from what I heard is he's only going to get fined, and that's about it. Sadi said it was a misunderstanding. He also said it was a misunderstanding. But I mean, obviously, you see it that it was not a misunderstanding at all. Pretty much, he refused to leave. And here's my opinion on this. I understand Kepa's point of view. I understand what he was feeling. He was playing a really good game. Before that game, they faced Manchester City as well, and they lost 6-0. He wanted to redeem himself, and he was. He played a great game after that. Great 115-minute game. And you know what? He wanted to finish strong. He wanted to be the hero. If he was injured, you know how amazing it would have been if he would have blocked those penalties? I mean, won the game for them. Blocked the penalties, won the game, whatever, be the keeper, the hero. He would have been a hero. They would have made a movie out of him. You know, people would have loved him. Chelsea fans would have loved him. Saudi would have loved him. I mean, heck, when he blocked one of those penalty shots, Saudi celebrated. They all celebrated. Obviously, you know, he blocked the penalty. Obviously, they're going to celebrate. But can you only imagine if they were to win, if Chelsea were to win the game, and he pulled that off? Man, he would have been a hero. It's a movie. I'm telling you, it's a movie. It's a movie. It's a documentary. It's a show. It's everything. He would have been he would have been a legend in Chelsea at such a young age. But that didn't happen. They lost, and you know, he blocked one penalty out of the 5. Chelsea's players. I mean, Jorginho missed. He didn't miss. He got blocked. His shot got blocked by his shot got blocked. And David Luiz, he missed. He hit the post and it came out. You know, honestly, I don't think it was Kepa's fault at all. It's harder for the keeper to. I think it's harder for the keeper to block the penalties than it is for the striker to score. I mean, yeah, it's nerve-wracking for the striker, but I mean, as a striker, maybe you're thinking like, oh man, I missed, but my fellow people will make it, you know, my fellow teammates will make it. But for a keeper, it's hard for a keeper because, I mean, at the end of the day, people are going to blame you. And they did. They blamed Kepa. I think a lot of people blame Kepa for this. And it's not his fault. He did his job and blocked one of the penalties. Yeah, he could have blocked another one, but that's the thing. Sometimes the ball just slips through, you know. It's not his fault. It's just could have been the injury. People are saying it could have been the injury. Jeez, I can't speak. So many factors that could be played in here, but I don't blame Kepa at all for, you know, Chelsea losing that game. I mean, David Luiz didn't even hit the goal on the, you know, in the penalty area. Like, it hit the post and came out. You know, at least Jorginho got his on goal, on target. I mean, Ederson, though, blocked it, so that's that. It sucks. He also blocked it. So, I mean, even Sane, like, he took a great penalty. It wasn't a bad penalty at all. And Kepa blocked it. you know. So I think it's more to blame on like David Luiz kind of thing, but it's not to blame anybody at all. I mean, I understand Kepa. He's young. He wanted to be the hero. He sighed. He said, you know, I got it. He wanted to be responsible for it. He played a great game and he wanted to finish strong. Fortunately, it didn't happen. Favor wasn't for him, and that was getting blamed. Should he? People are saying, like I said, he should be down to reserves. He shouldn't be wearing a Chelsea shirt ever again. Here's the thing. Yeah, I don't agree with what he did. You know, he did. I kind of think like he did disrespect the coach by not coming out. You know, coach makes the final decision. You have to come out. If he decides to take you out, then yeah, it's fine. He should have obeyed. He should have. You know what Sadi should have done? I think Sadi doesn't have any balls at all. He should have showed He let him win. He should have showed him that he's the boss. He owns the team. He runs the team. He doesn't own the team, but he runs the team. He's the manager of the team. And he should have got out there and told Kepa to come out. Like, I'm substituting you out. You need to come out. But, you know, Kepa's young. He's a rebel. He's obviously going to say, no, I want to play. You know, he... FYI, some other star player also did that as well. If anybody remembers, one of the games from Barcelona, King Messi, Leo Messi, also refused to come out. Yeah, what's his name? Enrique. I don't know. The coach. His name is Enrique. He also was ready to substitute him. I mean, they were winning 3-0. He wanted to rest his players. Kind of what I do on like manager mode. You know, if we're winning, I'll rest one of my star players. Especially on a heavy schedule. And he wanted to do that. Messi told him, you know what, I'm good. I can finish. You saw that Enrique kind of made like come on, man, what's wrong with you kind of thing. Not like over dramatic, but kind of like, you know, showed it in a way. It was like, come on, you gotta listen to me. But, you know, at the end, he did substitute Neymar out. And I mean, Neymar being new at the club didn't have kind of the start kind of power of Messi, so he wasn't King Messi at all, so he had to go out. But I mean, Kepa isn't the first one, so yeah, Sadi, it shows that he's not one of those coaches that has the balls to show that he's the coach or something. I don't know. I mean, yeah, some players. I mean, it's crazy how players didn't also tell Kepa to leave. Pretty sure because they don't really respect. That just shows a lack of respect for Sadi as well. You know, I do agree on that, but to punish him in a way where, you know, shouldn't play for Chelsea anymore, should be dropped to the reserves and not even substituted, not even the start keeper, is not a smart decision for Chelsea. One, they're in 6th place in the Premier League. They need to get at least at the top 4 to get into the Champions League. If they want to, Europa, 5th. And at this point, especially if they take out Kepa, you know, out of the starters, then you can say goodbye to all that stuff. Because it's interesting to see what's going to happen tomorrow against Tottenham. But yeah, not a smart move to take him out. I mean, the only choice he has is to just go with that fine, and that's it. Yeah. Don't want to take him out, especially because one, he's your first choice keeper. Number 2, they spent so much. He's apparently the most expensive goalkeeper that's ever been bought, so he was pretty pricey, and you don't want to just throw that money away in the trash like that. So it's Sadi. He messed up. I think Sadi messed up as well. Yeah, I don't agree with Kepa. He was disrespectful. He disrespected Sadi. If it was me, I definitely would have gone out. No choice, you know. It would have just been like a thing like, oh man, this sucks. It's all caballeros now, though. It's all about trusting your teammates. He obviously showed that he didn't, but I can understand where he wanted to as well, because I would want that as well. If I was a young player, I would want to be, you know, to be that hero, that kind of person to save Chelsea like that, and risk it all. You know, you're young, you want to risk it all, gamble. Something doesn't work out, and you know, but in Premier League it's hard, especially because, oh man, those fans, you know, those fans. If you mess up like that, then the fans will get you, man. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's Sadi who should have showed him who's the manager of the team, who's in charge, and he obviously didn't do that. That's why he's obviously showed that you can disrespect me like this, then it's gonna happen again. Honestly, Saudi fucked up the most. Kepa, sure, he was respectful, but I don't think they should punish him any other way. I think I understand his feelings. I know where he's coming from. I probably would have been feeling the same way, but I probably would have gone out as well. At the same time, I would have gone out there and be like, come on, coach, just keep me in, yo. Don't do this. But then if he decides, final decision, you coming out, then that's that. But, yeah. But, yeah, I think Saudi's to blame from the... Oh, what do you guys think, though? Question. I want to go with this vote. Should Saudi be punished more heavily, taken out? Should he be taken out of the 11th? Should he be subbed? Should he be put in reserves? Do you guys agree? I just want to know opinions on this, like feelings towards what do you feel about Kepa and stuff. But that's about it about soccer talk, man. Not much. There's been feuds with players. You saw Mourinho, Pogba. Remember that feud? That was crazy. There was Sir Ferguson had 2 feuds. One with, I remember, young David Beckham. Can't remember the other one. I remember, I don't know the coach's name for France in 2010. Remember there was this thing about with like Anelka and stuff. They sent him home at the end of that at the World Cup. And then the whole team was like, it was like the French coach versus the whole French team. Bad performance from France that year. Remember 2010? I don't remember if anybody remembers that whole thing right there. Between the coach and France in the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. With Anelka being sent home, but it was mainly Anelka and then French team afterwards. What another one? There's a few more, but those are just some big ones that I remember. But that's the thing about, Saudi needs to get the respect for his players from his Chelsea players, because like Mourinho also complained about his Chelsea players not respecting him, his decisions. So like Conte, you saw what happened with Conte, and then now Sarri. So you see something going on with the Chelsea players there. They're being a little rebellious, but you gotta show them who's the coach. Nowadays it's hard though. Look what happened with Real Madrid. You've seen it with Chelsea in the past. What just happened with Manchester United? It's hard for I think it's harder for coaches to be a coach these days, because it's all about the players. Players, I feel like they get away with everything, man. Like Pogba, man, he got away with that. Like that whole feud right there, Pogba got away with it. I remember back then with Ferguson and David Beckham. Beckham had to go to Real Madrid. I think that's one of the reasons why he left and went to Real Madrid. You see that difference right there between player and coach disputes. Ferguson knew how to, be the boss and stuff. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Just Kepa and this whole situation. So, I understand Kepa's feelings. I'm not against him. But at the same time, it's like 50-50 for me. Like, I understand how he was feeling. Same time, I blame, can't blame him for the loss. You can't take him out, don't punish him like that. If you had a backup keeper, sure, maybe you could have done that, but Caballero's old, man. He has a great record with penalties. He probably could have made a difference there, but for a full 90-minute game, that's going to be tough for Chelsea, especially with their positions right now. So, yeah, decisions, man, but yeah, still blame Saudi more. But I don't agree with Kepa's decisions. It's like, yeah. I'm trying to make myself not look too bad, but I'm on both sides. So, yeah, that's everything. That's summing in. That's soccer talk for you. Not a whole lot. Just quick. A couple of my predictions from the Champions League didn't go so right. Real Madrid, a couple games like Barcelona. But second leg, watch. There's going to be changes there, so we'll wait and see what happens in March with the Champions League. Is it March? I think it's March. But yeah, remember our predictions still going on, still keeping to it. I'm 3-0. Juventus will come back. 14% chance. All they need is 5% chance, 5% to qualify. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for staying for so long. It's probably long. Hope this Soccer Talk was shorter, but the other one was longer for sure. Remember, check out my other content. Every week, weekly videos, and probably gonna start doing more. Trying to do more. But yeah, thanks for staying tuned. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you're on iTunes, check it out on iTunes as well. Don't worry about the whole Patreon page yet. I'm gonna be updating that soon. Changes. Yeah. All right. Thanks. Make sure to comment, like, share. Remember to answer the questions. Should Kepa? What do you think about Kepa and the previous one with the Unversed news stories, Unversed stories? I don't know. First name, celebrity, who wins? Yeah. Go back, check it out. All right. Peace out.